Yo, what's up, everybody? Rich Gage 20 here. Before we get into this, I gotta say, straight out the gate, I just gotta give all warning to all y'all crazy comment trigger happy motherfuckers. There's a man. There's where it is. There it is. Hey. You might hear something you're not gonna like here within the next couple minute or two here. Okay? You've been warned now. Don't make me go fucking banana sandwich on your ass in the comments. All right, you've been warned now. You guys might hear something you're not gonna like here. So we are back. Skynd has blessed us with a new video that you probably will see 2 or 3 days from the day I'm actually recording it. Because of course, you know me, I'm gonna record it day one. It's Skynd. I mean, who would I be if I didn't get on that Skynd day one? But you guys probably won't see it for like 2 or 3 days because that's how Skynds, whoever runs the Skynd channel on YouTube, or the company that runs Skynd on their channel on YouTube and whatnot, they block that. At least the way I do, they block that shit. However, they usually don't overturn the appeal process, so it will come out just like 2 or 3 days from now. So just keep that in mind. So let me this is a little different from the last time when we did Chris Watts. It's gonna be the same format as we always do these. I'm always gonna listen to it. I don't take notes for Skynd. Then I like to go over the lyrics, and then we go back through it and analyze like step by step. Skynd videos are always gonna be long and always gonna have long intros. It's just how it works. But what's a little bit different is when the last one came out, I was stoked, y'all. I was hyped. I was on that hype train for life. Find something that rhymes with train and makes sense and would sound fucking epic. That was it. Bam, you nailed it for me. I think you guys got my back. Appreciate you. This one, not so much, if I'm going to be honest with you. And let me tell you why. Before you freak out, let me tell you why. When I first got the drop, that it's like, oh, Skynd's like they coming out with something soon, I was just like, oh fuck yeah, dude, let me look at this. And then, you know, it's like, hey, there was the whole post like, we're inviting you to dinner, it's gonna be a feast, blah blah blah. And I was like, didn't they already kind of do I killed somebody or I killed my family and cooked them into dinner? Wasn't that Catherine Knight? And then I was like, okay, maybe I won't, maybe they find a way to make it a little different. Because, obviously there's going to be some differences. It's just weird. It kind of be weird if they like, oh, another cult leader. It's like, we kind of already did that. How are you going to make that different? But I was like, you know what? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Skyn's awesome. So, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. And then, I was kind of waiting for like the teaser trailer video or whatnot, because like last time with Chris, they were like really building up the excitement, because it was like, oh, it's gonna be coming out soon. Like a couple weeks go by, it's like, oh fuck, when's it gonna drop? And then they released a little teaser trailer. It's like, oh shit, man, it's coming. And then when it dropped, I was like, fuck yeah, it's here, let's go. This one, like 6 or 7 days ago, they're just like, hey, something might be in the here it is, and they just released it today. I was just like, oh. That was really soon. Not that that's a bad thing. I would love to get it sooner than later. But, it was kind of weird, because usually they do a little like, oh, here's a little teaser for it. And, oh, here's a little bit more. They kind of slowly leak it out. This one was just like, here it is. So that's a little different. Not bad by any means, but that was a little different. So that's a little bit of reason why maybe the like super excitement hype is not there. But also, when I saw the name, I can't really pronounce the last name. Armin. I've been calling him Meiwes, but it's German, so it might be, the W might sound like a V. I don't know. Meiwes. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce that last name. So I'm just gonna say Armin. It might even be Armin. I don't fucking know. But I'm gonna call him Armin, because I feel like it. But I saw that name and I was like, oh, okay. Let me look it up. Let me do my research. I woke up in the morning before I went to work and whatnot. I was like, let me look it up. And as I was reading, I was like, it IT crowd? Like, is this an IT crowd episode? which, by the way, if you haven't watched IT Crowd, you should. And then I went to the references, or to the like social, what it's come up as, what it's been, movies and stuff. And sure enough, the episode Moss and the German was based off of this guy, and I was just like, fuck, that's so great. I was instantly like, wait, I've heard this story. And that also is a little weird, because like Skinned usually, besides obviously at least the Lamb, like all their people are usually pretty brutal, gruesome people. Armin here just is just like, hey, I want to eat somebody. Will someone consent to letting me eat them? The person was like, sure, you can eat me. He came over and he ate him. Of all the gruesome tales we've had, like the last guy, Chris, who suffocated 3 and younger year olds to death. This is like the nicest killer thing I think they've ever done. So it's like, okay, we have Catherine Knight, but like the male Catherine Knight, but like the watered down, super nice, sweet Catherine Knight. So needless to say, I'm not like, I have a little bit of reservations about this song, because like it seemed like the dude was pretty legit. He, like besides the fact that it's fascinating to dive into this story, because like who agrees to that? I'd be more interested in hearing about a tale about the guy who agreed to it than the guy who did it. But this dude was just like, hey, I want to eat somebody, but I'm not gonna like bring someone over, like suffocate them out, like hit them up with that not morphine, but I can't think of the name of it right now, but put someone unconscious, tie them up, and like slowly eat them while alive, like some crazy creepy shit like that. It's like, no, just, will someone let me eat them? Dude's like, I'll let you eat me. Comes over, he does it, goes to jail anyways, because turns out even with consent that's still illegal. Who would have known? And then like is like, yeah, no, I regret it when he's in jail. I regret it. I'm gonna write a book to tell people like, don't actually give in to those urges, because it's like a spiral effect. You can't really control it. Dude seems like the nicest killer I've ever read about. So I don't know if there's a lot of material for Skinned really to go that far in. And honestly, if they kind of go with the like, oh, he's fucked up and crazy angle, like this is really dark, I don't know if I'm gonna buy it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it doesn't really sound that way to me. But with all that being said, obviously I have my reservations. I'm a little nervous about this song, not gonna lie. I think there's a few others they could have gone for, like, John Wayne Gacy. I heard that they had that one in the mix that they were doing on live shows too. Like, I'm just saying, that would have been like magnum opus. But while I have my reservations, Skinned has never disappointed me before. There's been some videos that's like, meh, the first 3 videos were not the greatest, and I don't feel they stay 100% true, but they never disappointed me. Skinned has never disappointed me yet. So we're going to cross our fingers and go into this with a positive outlook and hope that remains true today. But just know it's got a little bit of a hole that it needs to dig itself out of. But if anyone can do it, I think Skinned can do it. So I'm going to actually cut real fast and get some water. And I will be right back and we'll get into this bad boy. Alright, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen. See what I did there. Alright, Armin, whatever. Meiwes. I really probably should type that into. I don't even know if Google Translate would say that correctly. Anyways, Armin. Blow me away, baby. Blow me away. Let's do this. Let's get some here. Alright. Well, there you have it. There you have it. How do I put this into words? There were parts in there that are pretty cool. Let's see what. I'll say we'll go through these lyrics here in a second here, but the specific part. I think it's the if you're between 18 and 25, that whole like section there. Like there's some really cool notes and stuff they did melodically with those lines. That every time that part came on, I was just like, oh yeah, man, it's catchy as a motherfucker. The whole "let him be fat or lean" kind of hook chorus. I think it might. Yeah, I think that's the chorus. It was decent. It was not too bad. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. There were parts of the verses that I kind of really enjoyed. I liked how sometimes they would play with the little very accented, punchy notes in there, and then they would make the notes kind of fall right with a good flow of kind of how when the words would come out. Sometimes it was just like really like, oh yeah, it's gonna do this, and it did, and then it did, and it was like, oh yeah, that sounds really cool. And there's other parts where it's just kind of like, okay, just kind of like, because like sometimes that that very accented staccato like kind of delivery of the words, if I'm remembering it correctly. Like sometimes when it landed, it like really landed. Other times it's just kind of like, okay, I get it. I get the point you're going for, but it kind of wore on me a little bit. Like, meh, after a little bit, but that could just be me. So let's go through the words first, and then we'll kind of talk about how I generally overall feel about the experience here. So obviously, them be fat or lean, types of types of meat and whatnot, but also, like whatever body type you're like, whatever. Tomorrow I'll cook them, like obviously setting the stage of what's happening. Dropping down to the verse here. Table set for tonight. Waiting for this all my life. I mean, if you're fantasizing about it and it's finally coming, I'm sure you're going to be excited about it, of course. Candlelights shining bright. Pull the cork, pour the red wine. Just setting the stage of what's going to happen. This one, I kind of liked. I feel like I found the double on here. I don't know if it is long big or long pig. I don't know. But the lyrics I have here in front of me say long, comma, big steak, B-I-G. Big steak on my plate. I think that's a long pig, kind of, human flesh reference there. Caught that. Pretty cool. Potatoes and sprouts on the side. They savor my first bite, satisfy my appetite. Right, pretty straightforward there. If you're between 18 and 25, I remember what I read. Again, I don't know. I don't do like a super deep dive on this. I just kind of surface read what I could find, maybe a website or two. I remember his post, he was looking for someone between 18 to 25, and I think the person that actually ended up showing up, because like a lot of people said sure, but then like bailed at the last second, because the thought, if that's like your thing, if cannibalism's like the thought of that arouses you or like excites you and whatnot, it's one thing to think about it, but then when the moment you know that like, wait, if I actually do show up, I'm dead, sometimes that gives you reservations. Sometimes you'll chicken out. And happened with quite a few people. So the person that actually did was like, yeah, sure, and actually did show up. I think he was in his 40s, if I remember correctly. So not between 18 to 25. But we know, if you really want to eat somebody that bad, first off, finding someone to eat that will agree to let you eat them, it's hard enough. But when everyone's being like, nah, last man, like dipping out on you, and someone's like, fuck it, and actually does show up, you're like, okay, well, I said 18 to 25, but you know what, fuck it. It's like, yeah, I could see that. If you want to stay with me, I want you to stay with me. Oh, I want you to, that's both times. I don't know why I got if out of there. If it's your desire to end your life, I want you to stay with me. Again, consent varies. It's very nice. Painkillers, cough syrup, sleeping pills, bottle of schnapps. Yeah, the dude was like really fucking zoned on all this stuff that he took, so that I guess he could get through the pain while being able to somewhat experience it at the same time. Sink your teeth, chew it up. I think the dude was just taking bites out of the dude's flesh. I don't know, or maybe he was skinning parts off. I don't know. Probably both. In all honesty. Take a knife, make a clean cut. Yeah, again, I assume both happen. Roast of flesh. This part was great because I knew exactly what this was referring to, but Skynd didn't just come straight out and say it, which I thought was one of the most interesting parts. And this is where they started. Like, this is where they started the evening, from what the websites said. But they didn't. Skynd didn't come straight out and say it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you say that without it being just kind of weird, but like, it's what happened. So roast the flesh, medium heat, add garlic, pepper, and salt. Meat is too tough to eat, so I'll feed it to the dog. All that stuff happened to the dude's penis. Remember, the first place that they wanted to start was like, yo, eat my penis. Well, at least that's what I said. Why that's where you want to start, not 100% positive. But like at first he wanted to like bite it off. He wanted him to like bite it off his body, which, I mean, I've heard you. I've never tried it, but I heard you can like bite a finger off with your teeth, just clap it right off. I don't think the penis is the same. Like you see it in you've seen maybe some movies and stuff, but I don't think it's that easy because of the material that the penis is made out of. So obviously that didn't work, so they had to cut it off, and then he tried eating it, but it was way too chewy and spongy, which the dude being a dude, having a penis, just of interacting with a penis throughout your life, you should know that is very spongy material, especially when it's not hard. Like, of course it'd be way too chewy. Why are you starting chomping on a dick? It's just so weird. So he tried to grill it up with garlic, pepper, and salt. And then I think he tried like frying it too. At that point, the meat was like too tough and whatnot, and so he fed the penis to his dog. I didn't say the dude wasn't fucked up. Clearly, he's fucked up, but like, it's not the craziest thing I've heard from these killers and victims and stuff. So, still not the weirdest thing either. Waiting for him to bleed out. I didn't read anything about him waiting for him to bleed out. I just heard that he eventually did bleed out. Because, his penis is lopped off and there's chunks missing out of his flesh. Like, eventually you're going to bleed out. But I didn't know if he waited for him to bleed out or anything. I don't know why he would. I think it would be more entertaining. Like, if you're gonna go cannibal, might as well, like, how often are you gonna experience not only cannibalism, but doing it while the subject is willing and alive to experience it at the same time? Why would you wait for him to bleed out? That's just kind of weird. But I don't know. I'm not a cannibal. I wouldn't understand how it works. Reading Star Trek for 3 hours, I don't remember hearing about that. I remember the tape that they never released to the public was like 4 hours long, so it's kind of weird that 3 hours of that is him reading Star Trek. And finally, Kiss Him Once. I didn't read anything about him kissing him, but I did mention several times that it was kind of a sexual experience for him, which I assume just the satisfying a fetish and or desire was the sexual release and whatnot. I didn't know if it was actually sexual, so interesting lyrics that we got here. Everything else besides the ending here, slaughtered, decapitated, gutted, cut in half. You just pretty much everything that he did and then tried to cook him into. There you have it. Now, how do I feel about the song as a whole? I had a few seconds to mull it over, had a cough drop, try to get the coughing subdued. Still not the best. Coming off of a cold I had like a couple days ago. I always have a lingering cough, so my throat dries out. It's a whole thing. But that time gave me some time to think about it. And honestly, what I would say, I've kind of done a ranking system before. I don't remember where some of them fall, but I know where the top and the bottom is. My least favorite Skynd song that out of all of them, which I mean doesn't even mean it's bad. Just one has to be the least out of all of them. One has to be on the bottom. For me personally, the only actual song from Skynd I don't really like per se is Gary Heidnik. Purely because the first half of that song is fucking on point, fucking crushing. The second half, I almost lose interest and stop listening to it every time. It just really takes what was super awesome, just kind of really falls off at the end. So Gary Heidnik, it's the only song I listen to it occasionally, but like when it comes on, it's like okay. And I listen to like the first half, and then it's like okay, I'm gonna switch. This song is the only song that actually I would say is beating that. Now, after a few more listens, I might change my mind. I might go a little bit above at first listen so far, but we'll review that when I listen to it again. It's the only song that I would put below Gary Heidnik. And it's not even that it's bad. It wasn't bad. I feel like it was an attempt. It was an experiment. It was a person that interested Skynd, and she wanted to explore it in her music like she does with everyone else. Because I don't even think it's their fault, anything they did necessarily musically or per se or anything. It's just I think it's the problem itself is it's just not a lot to go off of. Like, there's not a lot you can really use. Like Tyler Hadley, for example, when I researched that took me a long time. There was just fucking so much information on that night, the events of everything leading up to that, the family life, the afterwards. There was so much information. I probably sat there and read anywhere between 30 to 90 minutes to read the whole fucking thing. And that was just one website. This took me maybe 3 to 5 minutes to read the whole thing. Small amount of information on what happened. Because really, not a lot happened. Dude's just like, I want to eat someone. Other dude's like, you can eat me. So he did. There's really no story there. But it's fascinating. Like, fascinating to try to think about the mind of someone who wants to eat somebody in a polite, respectful, consensual way, kind of. And the thought behind someone who's just like, yeah, no, I kind of like, I fantasize about cannibalism too. Eat me. I don't got much going for me. I don't care if my life ends. The thought of that is fascinating. Like, that is a really intriguing story. but there's not any meat there to make a song about, you know? And I feel like that's kind of where it falls flat a little bit. It's very interesting to think about it and to try to explore into it and to delve more into that, but like at the end of the day, there's really not a lot of substance there, you know? So I feel that's kind of where it falls a little flat on. And also, it also has kind of a Gary Henig ending as well, but we'll get into that when we get there. So I think it was a great attempt. It's just, you know, there just wasn't anything there. But let's go through it musically. Let's see if I can maybe change my mind a little bit. See if I can refresh myself on what happened, and see maybe we come around on this song. Let's find out. All right, I remember the intro here came in really quiet. So let's hear this build start here. It kind of has this a pretty good rhythm, pretty good flow, kind of right out the gate. Dun 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 dun. You know, kind of, you know, I'm feeling that. I mean, you know, obviously it's kind of building into it. It's kind of introducing it, so it's like all that very gravelly monster voice. So like, it's not starting out very melodic or whatnot, but I mean that's totally fine when you're introducing that concept like that. It totally makes sense, but like the flow, there's definitely good flow coming out here. I will survive through this video or fucking die trying. So let's just take that right out the gate with that pretty cool drum. I think I heard some guitar in there as well, and you know, just kind of pretty cool musically, with, you know, all the background instruments and stuff like that. Sound pretty cool. It just kind of really jumped into there right out the gate. I like that. It's very there's parts in there that I like about this, but there's parts that it's kind of very like I like that, like it's a little bit more of her clean voice, with less kind of effects on it. There still are effects on it, but like less so. I like that. I like the cleanness of it. I like, you know, I kind of like hearing her a bit more. That's pretty cool. But it's all kind of in her like mid to high register, and all kind of monotone. Da 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 da. You know, just the same note, just really high up there, just da 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 does blasting kind of again and again. Not bad by any means, but I like the little da da kind of like little embellishments, little change ups in that repeating line that she has in there. Like I feel like it saves it a little bit. I feel like it saves it a little bit. It gives this little catchiness to it that, you know, I'm kind of enjoying. So it's kind of like a little yeah, a little nah. You know, it's okay. It's a pretty good balance in there. Like little woos. That's pretty cool. And then you have a really strong, that kind of monster voice staying in there. It's kind of also very monotone, just kind of clouding up a little bit of the bottom of the ears there. Kind of adds this kind of rubbing tension to the sound, which is good, but also leaving me desiring a little bit more at the same time. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't hold back any punches. Like, hey, I love Skynd. Literally the only channel on all of YouTube that I have that bell rung. I want to know the second they're even thinking about dropping a song. No one else on YouTube do I have that for. Nobody. I love Skynd. Do not get me wrong. I love Skynd. Doesn't mean I'm going to love every single thing they release. I think there's always, you know, sometimes stuff just won't be good for me, but you might think it's the greatest thing ever. And that's totally cool. That's what makes music music. That's what makes music awesome and beautiful. This is just my opinion, and I'm not gonna hold back. I'm just gonna put that one out there. But that does not mean that I don't think Skynd is good. I love Skynd. I love everything that they made. Even the songs I don't listen to that much, I still love them. So like, just keep that in mind. It's just an opinion, and I ain't gonna hold back. Okay, here's where it gets a little bit rough for me. I'm trying to find the connection between the way the notes and rhythms being delivered to the acts that occurred, because you know they're really good. Skynd is really good at doing that. Chris Watts is an amazing example of that with the whole lullaby and story time, storybook kind of element and theme that keeps out the whole thing. They're amazing at doing it. I'm trying to find the connection here. Trying to find the connection to help save my feelings of it, because I like the thought of the very staccato ta 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 ta, and I love the little, like, you know, just like in the chorus, the little note switch ups they have there, dun 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 dun. Like, you know, I like it's catchy. That's catchy, but after a little bit of just ta 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 ta, you know, after a little bit it's like, okay, I get it. It's starting to air on, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I do love the little dun 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 dun. Like I do love the little interval passages that they have in there every now and then. It's just, I don't know. I feel like that staccato like sound just starts to get old for me pretty fast. But see if it changes my mind. Maybe it switches somewhere decently fast. Let's find out. Table set for tonight. Waited for this all my life. I like that. Candle lights shining bright. Pull the cork, pour the red wine. Long big stick. I do like that separation. Dun 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 dun. You know, it's not perfectly metered out. It kind of hits a little bit right before the downbeat of the note. Very cool effect there. And I would have been okay with all that if on this next stanzas here, if it went somewhere else. It sounds like it's starting out not going somewhere else. Let's hear it. Long big stick on my plate. Potatoes and sprouts on the side. I savor my first bite. Right? Is it me? And now we're going somewhere. But I feel like how long was that? At least a good 30 seconds. I feel like we've been on that kind of that rhythm, that flow for a little too long. It started to get old for me. But this part here, I remember, like, this is like my favorite part of the song. Like this little push in between the verse back into the chorus. These were beautiful. These were beautiful right here. That really gives me a Ginger feel right there. That I'm hearing Speak Astronomy kind of in there a little bit. That little bit of jazzy undertones that Tatiana has with her singing. That really is giving me a Ginger vibe there. That's pretty good. I like that. Pretty good, you know, pretty decent there, pretty decent, you know, not bad. Like that, especially that bridge there into the chorus and the chorus combined together. That's a good chunk of music right there. I like that. It's the verses that just, you know, and then the kind of the end. But we'll get there. I do like that bass. There's a doom doom doom. That's pretty cool. But we're kind of back to that staccato thing. But we'll see. We'll see how long that keeps going. But the one thing I forgot to mention that I feel like I should mention, is what I mentioned before I started the video. It's just, you know, if she really, like, I don't know anything about this person. Maybe she, I mean, she always does more research than I do, and that's what's amazing about Skynd, is her research abilities and whatnot. It's really great. From the little bits of research I did, I didn't get this vibe of he was just like psychopathic, psychotic, like, yeah, I want to eat flesh, I want to devour it. Oh, I'm so dark and evil and twisted. And it really seems like it's going for that angle. And I don't get that feeling when I read about what he did. Like, to me, it just seemed like he was just like this average, kind of chill, like, dude that was just like, yeah, I kind of want to eat people. Like, I kind of fantasize about it. Like, it kind of gets me off. Will someone let me do that? Oh, you will? Cool. And afterwards, like, yeah, guys, I regretted it. That was a bad choice. Don't do what I did. Don't make that mistake, guys. It's not worth it. That's the vibe I got from reading it. And so trying to go for this hard, like, oh, he was fucking crazy, slaughterhouse killer. I don't feel that. And so going for that angle, just okay. You know, I can understand respect. Like, you know, obviously probably there's more about it that I don't know, and maybe this was, I mean, clearly wasn't okay in the head, but it didn't seem like he was like Richard Ramirez about it, just like, I must fucking slaughter to get off. You know, it didn't seem like that to me. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just don't know if it was like the right angle to take with this, but maybe that's how he was, and you know, just, I don't know. That one didn't feel like it metered out like totally well. It felt a little dragged. I love that. Doom, doom, doom. That's pretty good there. I like that. Okay. Yeah, just the verses is just a little lackluster for me. But that does remind me, like, one thing about, since we mentioned it, Gary Hednick, that I absolutely love now that I've really paid attention to it and I hear it every time now. The bass in that song, fucking outstanding. Like, so good. And the bass in this song, also really good. Just putting that one out there. Forgot about that part. That part felt a little out of place. There wasn't that extra section before, so I feel like that extra section should have kind of gone somewhere. It was just kind of there to tell the story, and then try to go back into the bridge. And it didn't really meld into the bridge very well. It didn't set up the bridge very well. It was just kind of there. It wasn't bad. It just kind of was there, you know. Let me get that one more time. I forgot all about that. So I fade into the dark, waiting for him to bleed out. Kind of like the notes there. Da na 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 na. Catchy, good stuff right there. Reading Star Trek for 3 hours. Finally kiss him once and kill him and slaughter him like a piece of livestock. I feel like musically it should go somewhere, and it doesn't really develop or go anywhere musically, so it kind of feels a little stagnant. And it's I don't know, it's a little weird. It's a little weird for me. The video itself, I haven't really talked about the video itself. Again, I kind of like, you know, her being in the TV and like a cooking show, but the cooking is human flesh and whatnot. Very cool. Pretty awesome. And then it has Armin, whatever his name is, just kind of walking around the house, cutting up flesh, just being like, oh, he lives in this dark dump, he was crazy or something. Again, I think the video is suffering along the kind of the same lines of just wasn't enough information to really make a full-fledged, fleshed out video. You know? So yeah, that's just why I haven't really mentioned anything about the video. It's because the video's, I don't know, I wouldn't say basic, but it's like not really fully fleshed out. But it's not bad. It's still good. Still good. Now, here's where we talk about the end of this here. So, I've said many times before that I like something that tries to go off the beaten path, doesn't try to do the same old just because you know it works. I like that stuff. But, you know, you're taking a gamble when you do that. And sometimes, for some people, it's going to really, really land. Sometimes it's not. Now, if they would have had that I mean, this would have been like cookie cutter kind of traditional, kind of just way to write a song and or in a lot of Skynd songs, to have that chorus happen at the end and then just kind of music kind of fade out or even come to an abrupt stop or just some kind of musical outro and then the song ends. It's kind of what I was looking for. But again, that would have been like, well, you know, done a million times. And so I appreciate that they went in a different direction, but it kind of made the song feel like it was ending and then words were just kind of happening and it lost a lot of energy and excitement and then it was just kind of done. Kind of the same thing with Gary Hednick. That chorus in that song was, especially when you have Jonathan Davis in there, it was poppin'. It happens for the first half of the song and then just everything just kind of slow fades out and the song's just kind of done. And it just leaves you feeling kind of empty. It kills the energy in the middle of the song, which, as you see, we're around the middle of the song, and just kind of slowly bleeds out. Kind of like, you know, the person. So I'm sure there's a reason for it, and they're just, you know, it's trying to paint the story and have it be more about the story than, you know, making sure it's musically sound. And I respect that. It's just on the storytelling side, 10 out of 10. Music side, it's got me feeling a little meh, you know? So it's just like I appreciate the dedication to the story and to the telling of the story, and that's top notch, 10 out of 10, amazing. But it's leaving me thinking like the song just kind of is done at 3 minutes and there's still a minute and a half of it, you know? So it just doesn't rub my ears the right way, I guess we could say that. Now this is a good kind of breakdown in the middle here. If it kicked back into something, I think we'd really have something here. But this just kind of continues. And that's what makes it feel a little different. And for me, that's rubbing a little weird in my ears. But that's just me. Yeah, it feels like it's bringing it down and like building for something, but it never actually gets to the something, and it never actually fully builds. It's musically, it's weird as fuck. I think is what we could classify. That's the official term, that's like the scientific term. Weird as fuck, the musical term there. Um, yeah, no, it's just it just leaves it a little empty because it's building towards something. Like everything is like coming down, getting creepy, getting that energy building, and it doesn't actually go anywhere. So it's like you don't feel satisfied or arrived, which maybe is the feeling again going for. So again, on the artistry of it, 10 out of 10, perfect mindfuck. Music, however, I feel is suffering because of that. But I mean, sometimes you can't have both in a perfect world. You know what I mean? Just this slow word by word by word feels like it's building somewhere, and then my brain remembers, oh yeah, no, it just ends out of nowhere. It's yeah. Still feels like it's building and going somewhere. I'm waiting for the drop to come back in. But there ain't none. And that forever answering that you're a part of me now. Very cool. It's quite a long gap between you're a part of me now, forever. Kind of forget that forever's attached to that. And then just the outro is just the TV static. I don't know. Is that a thing? Is that it's going to be like the video that was recorded and then that it went on for too long and static now? I don't. I don't know. Listening to it again, I mean, it's pretty good. I'll probably come around on it like I did with Gary, like I did with, well, Gary, there wasn't a whole lot to come around with because the first half is just fucking bumping. The first half is, dare I say it, wiggle. But like, I'm sure I'll come around on it like I did Catherine Knight, which I just actually that was not intentional. I just now put together that I called it the watered down male Catherine Knight, and I'll probably come around on it like I did Catherine Knight, but at the current moment, at the current standing, was this song number 10? Is this the 10th song they've released? It's 9 or 10. I want to say 9. No, I mean 10. I want to say 10. It's 10th. If there's 10 songs, it's 10th for me at the moment. It's just, there's some really good elements about it, but like, I get that the story itself is fascinating, very interesting. I definitely want to learn more about it. Like, it's like the mindset of both parties in this is just absolutely astounding and very interesting to think about. But it's like, I understand wanting to make a song about that, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like it's just clear to see from the outside, it's not really a lot of substance besides just the initial thought. How do you make that a song? And so it's like, don't know if there's necessarily the greatest idea, but I think it was a fun attempt, fun, just experimenting with the song and just seeing what grows from it. I think that story wise, it was great. I think it was really great. Video was okay for the information that you have. They did the best with how little of information there is in the song. It feels lacking for me personally, and I could have used more of a lot of things. But in the end, I can respect it. I can respect I can respect the artistry of it, and that was fine. It just, I don't know, wasn't really my thing. Which usually I leave glowing reviews about Skin, but I don't know. This one's just not feeling it. Not feeling it. But hey, that won't affect my opinion of Skin. I still think Skin's amazing, and I'm excited for what they bring forward next time. So thank you all for joining me, even though based off of some of the responses I got from Chris Watts, which weren't, none of them were bad, just very matter of fact. Oh, it was about this actually. Blah, blah, other people will, well, actually. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this one, but with that being said, just note that I do love Skinned. I don't hold anything back, and this is just my opinion. No matter how many times you say that, though, people on the internet don't give a fuck, and they're still gonna give you a hard time. But just for all you rational, sane people with actual intelligence and the ability to use that thing inside your cranium, just opinion. I don't know, just didn't wow me, just didn't do it for me personally, but it wasn't bad. I enjoyed the experience, and I think at the end that's all that matters. So thank you all for joining me. I will see you in the next Skin song.